My name is Søren Giegler. I'm a Senior Digital and Green Transformation Specialist at the European Commission. And it's my great pleasure today to be your moderator. And this topic is very close to my heart. And I think it's really astonishing that now 53 countries have included digital and AI into their NDCs. So this was not like this 2 or 3 years ago, and thank you so much to the CTCN and the tech for your pioneering work, because I remember 2 years ago when the first digital green action track at the COP. There was basically, it's only the 3rd year that digital and green is actually on the agenda as a priority topic with our own science, technology, and AI day. So, and then the groundbreaking work you've been doing with the tech and CTCN on the work of AI for climate. I am now in contact with a lot of policymakers, companies, and also researchers, and they always refer me actually to your program. So you must be doing something very well. So congratulations, and thank you so much for inviting me. And this session will focus specifically on the linkages between AI and energy systems. So if there's one sector, one could say, where AI and digital really could have a huge impact, it's in fact the energy sector. Just think about smart grids. Like if we talk about renewable energies, which everybody does, so the entire move to decarbonize the economy, and the energy sector is so critical, and in this sector, it's almost indispensable. In today's world, you cannot imagine the energy sector without digital or without AI. So without any further ado, I would very much like to invite His Royal Highness, the co-chair of the PCCB, to give us the opening remarks or the keynote speak. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon, colleagues. How are you doing? Good afternoon. Even with the negotiation, I still have a voice. Good afternoon. Okay, that's fine. Thank you so much, Björn, for the warm introduction, and allow me to congratulate you also on the work of the European Union. I happen to be part of the African Union, European Union Digital Economy Task Force, and I remember at that time when we were talking about artificial intelligence, quantum computing, blockchains, as was a kind of, we were coming from Mars or whatever. I'm happy to see that our recommendation also has been taken into account, that digitalization also will be very critical and on the next decades, including the energy systems. Energy systems, how you balance the 50 Earths, but maybe it doesn't ring the bell, but energy need to have some way to balance it. Otherwise, if we have renewable energy coming into the system and we can balance it, so it stop the entire system. And we are fortunate to see that at the global level also you have policies that drive the private sector to come in with some incentives to take it forward. And that's where the policies also can influence and fast-track business and new sectors like like AI. So I'm Her Royal Highness, as you said, from Burkina Faso, and I'm also an engineer and very keen on electricity myself. Then I'm really humbled and very pleased to be with you. And dear Ariesta, thank you for your invitation to come to give a keynote, to give an opening remark at the session. Dear co-chair of the tech, We have been together at the advisory board in Copenhagen, and it's given me the opportunity to see the importance of the constituent body of this convention that we are in. It is experts, you know, we are there, we don't have any salary, but it's for good, because we know that it's the good things to do. We take our time, and sometimes that we go on our own cost, because we have the people in front of us to make sure that the job, it is delivered on time and fit for purpose. We need to combine and joint efforts, the multi-route spirit that the COP30 has put in place for us. And I'm happy to see that the PCCB work, you know, the PCCB will have those building blocks, the 3 building blocks that we have: capacity building, technology transfer, but we need also the finance to combine to deliver. Without this, I was telling to my dear friend Mafalda this morning at the AGN, then when she visited us, how we could be, and I'm happy to see that there will be a window. That is a breaking news for you, a window, public-private finance window on energy. Please stay tuned on that. And I think the Ariesta, there is something to build there for the ND that you're leading, and the program that you have. Guidance we need, governance we need, to make sure that we're delivering. At the moment, we're working on the Just Transition Work Program. And we do need a mechanism to deliver together that brings to combine all effort, joint effort to deliver on the field, because we need, as a cup of truth, the cup of implementation to deliver for the people that deserve our trust, because they give us part of their trust. Artificial intelligence is a vital tool in the implementation of development of low carbon and climate-resilient energy system, as you rightly said, Born, and your opening remarks. It can help us optimize energy system, improve efficiency, forecast demand, integrate renewable energy, and strengthen resilience. This is the balancing the 50 Rs. However, we need to deliver on transformative, it needs to be transformative. There is a gap between implementation and tangible results. And that's where I think the joint effort at this session today, it will allow us to really touch upon and deliver for this, and to deploy and to upscale. Integration, and also make sure that while we're hosting the data centers, that are very important, we need to make sure that we also at the same time can leverage on that to deliver also energy for the neighborhood. Can be the neighborhood country, for instance, with the network of energy, that you keep in mind when you design, that we make sure also that we're providing energy, we're giving the essence for energy for productive use also for local communities, indigenous people, and the surroundings when we build the data centers. It's for good because we are together, we are interconnected. With that masterclass, I think that we need, when you share ideas, you never lose, where we all win. I think when we are in those arenas, we shouldn't make a retention of information or knowledge, because when I share with you, I learn as much. And when we combine the two brains, so it's really give a magnitude of knowledge that we even can't imagine how. Dare to think the unthinkable. I was saying that this morning. Dare to dream. You have people who have dreamed before, and now we think we have the neuroscience. It's just mind-blowing. So I invite you really to take the advantage in talking to each other, listening to each other, and see how you can team up, and deliver. Because we, the people, it's a we who take the lead, not the me, but the we. That's what we learned from our indigenous people or local community. And also dare to bring them in the policy design. Often we bring at the end of the design. As a traditional leader myself from Africa, often we bring at the end of the design of the policy, and it's at the Paris Committee on Capacity Building with the PCCB network, we are opening that space that you have today here, the Capacity Building Hub, that's even if the organization don't have an accreditation, it is welcome. If the ideas can improve the lives on the field, can help the PCCB to fulfill its mandate, which is addressing the needs and the gaps. And one of the gaps and what you can inform and address it also with the AI. And I'm so, so grateful with that session today. It really will be breakthrough for the colleagues, for the young people who will watch your inputs online using digitalization again, and this will be flow all over. On behalf of the Paris Committee on Capacity Building, all my 12 team, and including my co-chair, who couldn't make it this time, Cecile Schneider from Germany, I really warmly welcome you and invite you to, and I hope to hear more about and see how with the PCCB we can team up and move along together. It's really, really, I hope that I could stay longer and be the entire day and exchange with you, but I'm around. I'm around till the next week, and I look forward to continue. Once again, wonderful session, and let's dream and deliver together. Thank you very much. The floor back to you, Bon.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness, for sharing this very important session. But this is actually a masterclass. So this is more about you and not us. This is not a normal panel discussion. So that's why I wanted to invite you to first get to know each other somewhat. And we'll have now several questions on Metimer, this tool, to get to know you. And thank you for reminding us that the young people, right, the youth. So I think AI is definitely about youth. And we have, please scan in the QR code. And as I said, we wanted to really get to know you and know what are your ideas, what do you think about AI? Because AI has huge opportunities, but also has significant risks which need to be managed. So if you could please go and scan, and then we can have much more of an interactive session. And also the audience online. So the first question was like, which organization, which type you're representing? So are we here from government, private sector, UN? Like, it's a true multi-stakeholder dialogue, capacity building. So we're really keen of having representation of everyone. See, very interesting. So now we have very strong UN, that's less surprising. But then the private sector is, and government. And we also have representation from civil society. But very strong private sector participation. So I think it's also very important. So I see a lot of innovators in the room. So let's go to the next question, please. So how do you approach, so where do you work, primarily in the global north or global south? So do you approach it more from the perspective of the global south? Because AI is very significant differences. But the adoption rate is actually very important. By the way, AI is the most and the quickest technology in global history in its diffusion. It's unbelievable. Like after 2 months, one very large AI, which I don't mention, but you can imagine which it is. So ChatGPT got 100 million users within 2 months. So today, in this year alone, it doubled its users from 400 to 800 million. So you see, it is changing the world. So we also, that's why the class is so important, so we better really also know what it is. So here, so we see, both. That's really interesting, but we do have a lot of people from developing countries, so welcome, and very important because this is the emphasis of this masterclass. Next question, please. So how do you feel now about AI for energy systems? Do you think it has a lot of opportunities? Are you more concerned? Do you think, because AI sometimes we say is a double-edged sword. So it has huge opportunities while also important ethical and moral and other issues. So are you concerned about the AI divide, or are you more on the side where you say, no, this is a huge business opportunity for sustainable development and climate action? Oh wow, this is for me at least personally surprising. So 24 people are excited, yeah. So majority of people have very high expectations maybe on AI. So that's good to know. Maybe for you who will then do the masterclass, or yeah. Okay, let's move to the next level. So how would you rate your knowledge? Have you before been to workshops or seminars on AI for energy, or is this your first time? So how much would you rate your ideas, or how comfortable are you with the topic? Okay, so you're learning. Okay, so we're all learning, lifelong learning. So, but it's very good to see that many of you are just getting started or are learning. Okay, so I think, is there one more question, or this was the last one? There's one more. So then how would you solve the energy system? Oh. Can we go one further, please? Oh, we are not yet finished. Okay. Next slide, please. No, thank you. So with this, but I just wanted to get a much better idea who we are here. And so if you could please, one energy which we are tossing. But now, with no further ado, I would really like to invite the fireside chat. Well, no, first we have the presentation of our main presenter. So Simon Ben-Marasi, the head of Energy Planning and Modeling on IRENA. Oh, here you are. Thank you so much for being our main speaker of this masterclass. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Chair. It's wonderful to be here today at this masterclass on this, the survey shows on this ever important topic. So my name is Simon Ben-Marasi. I'm actually the head of a unit in the IRENA Innovation and Technology Center. I'm also one of the co-authors of our recent report on AI and digitalization perspective for the G7, where we actually looked at what can we do, collaboration also in the benefits, also with the emerging markets. So I want to move on this presentation beyond the hype and explore practical, tangible ways for artificial intelligence in the use on energy systems, and with a deep dive on energy planning. I don't have the clicker around me, but if someone can say next slides. Yes, next slide, please. So, to understand the solution that was mentioned in the opening remarks, let's look at the challenges for the energy transition. And there is a trilemma of complexity. The first one, we are seeing, of course, the response of the GST, of a greater integration of renewables. So how to manage, in a new world, more variable energy, wind, solar, that a scale that I have never seen before. Second one, there is an increased need of security of supply, so we need to ensure that the light stays on, and also more reliability and a system that delivers more affordable energy. And obviously, it was mentioned, we are exposed to more climate impacts, and the use also on different systems will trigger a different response. Third, but also important, we need to look at how governments, but also public-private partnership, look at forecasting and operational optimization. So we're going to have millions of assets, from large power plant to electric vehicles, in a way that needs to be efficient and stable. We actually discussed this 2 weeks ago in Bonn, Germany, at our long-term energy scenario forum, where we looked at the central questions. And this masterclass is a summary of the discussion with experts on the field. Next slide, please. So all credible energy planning begins with one important aspect: reliable data. For many developing countries, this is also the role of IRENA, working on capacity building in different regions. This is the first and actually most significant barrier. Without knowing where people live, what infrastructure exists, or where the renewable resource is best, planning is just a guesswork. AI, in that sense, can become a game changer, filling critical data gaps. And let me highlight examples here. SE4All built the Open Building Insight, or OBI tool, that uses AI to analyze satellite imagery to identify every building and its solar potential. That allows, from the get-go, of a granular, district-level renewable energy planning without the need of complex and time-consuming surveys. The second example is from the Open Energy Transition Foundation, which built a prototype that goes a step further, using AI to detect critical grid infrastructure, the cables, the networks, and also the substation from imagery. This is a very time-consuming activity by human. By AI, can be done in a matter of minutes. And this can help generate demand profile for regions where there is no, let's say, data available. And this is the first important layer for a sound energy planning process. Last but not least, colleagues from the CCG, the Climate Compatible Growth, are using AI, just not to fill data gaps, but to map transmission lines from nighttime lights. And they're building around that tools to help planners debug their own models. So this is, here you see a trend, using that also for building capacity in institutions in the Global South. Next slide, please. Once we have the data, the next challenge is to predict the future. Be careful, it's a very difficult exercise. But what is important is the accuracy there. So poor forecasting will generally lead to an expensive, conservative decision, primarily based on fossil fuel, just in case. AI-enhanced forecasting platform can really deliver on that. Here is an example, for example, from EnergyNet, the system operator of Denmark, where they use an AI-driven weather model to save nearly $9 million annually by optimizing how many reserve of energy they need. And this is a direct benefit financial, and that reduces the bill for the consumer. Let me get another example in the other part of the world. The Hornsdale wind farm in Australia improved forecast accuracy by 45% for a grid operator. This means better anticipation of the variability of renewables, leading to a more efficient dispatch and connecting the demand with the generation of large-scale offshore wind farms. Another example as well, Solcast is basically a tool to enable the nowcasting of solar output with incredible precision. So that enables planners to design systems with smaller, less conservative buffers. That enabled to reduce the curtailments. In Europe, just for 1 year, 30 terawatts of energy was curtailed in 6 countries. This is important. And that helped to maximize the value of each unit of energy you have, solar, wind, and others. So the key takeaway here is that the AI allows planners to quantify uncertainty and make more risk-informed, economically optimal decisions for the government. Next slide, please. So once we have the data and when the planners have the information, I mean, this cannot stay in the hands of engineers, economists, and so on. It was mentioned before by Her Royal Highness, we need to empower all types of stakeholders, from individual stakeholders, citizens, prosumers, but also the investors that want to flow capital into the energy systems, but also other types like regulators. And digital platforms powered by AI can actually make this possible. First, consumer-friendly dashboards empower individuals to understand their own consumption. In many countries, you have an app to see your consumption, and you can make decisions like charging specific appliances, including EVs, at specific time of the day. Open data platforms create transparency across the entire system, fostering innovation, but also having more inclusive policy frameworks to integrate more renewables. And also you have the emergence, like with the German company E.ON, of integrated digital platforms that enable to break the silos in big companies and consolidating large amount of data, for example, on grids, in a single interface. So automating processes that normally will require a long time, like grid impact studies that could take a year or two. With AI, you reduce the time in a matter of months. Next slide, please. So one of the points that was raised in our long-term energy scenario forum at the end of October, is trust. Complex AI models can feel, and a lot of people, and probably could have been a question at the beginning, like a black box. This creates a barrier for adoption by policymakers who need to stand behind the decision AI models will produce. An example is the Paul Scherrer Institute of Switzerland that is tackling this heads-on with a dual approach. First, they're using a Bayesian belief network to create transparent causal models and essentially, simply say, this allows planners to ask why when something is happening, or better yet, what do we need to do to achieve a certain goals? It turned the model from a maze into a map, keeping human at the center, human-centric approach. The second is their Ensure Energy game, which translates complex scenarios into an interactive experience. It allows thousands of citizens to step into the shoes of an energy planner, building intuition and understanding the real-world trade-off of the transition. So this year the goal is to move from models that lies in data centers into meaningful or meaning for citizens. And this is important because those systems will require trust and also a social license to operate for the public good. Let's shift also to an important, in the next slide, please. Important topic at the heartbeat of the transition. Yesterday we had the high-level ministerial on grid and storage, and the relevant topic is grid operation. Here AI will play a key role, managing the whole complete toolkit to manage a modern, renewable, decentralized grid. The first benefit, and is part of our report for the G7, is monitoring, giving us real-time awareness of the situation of the grid. Second, forecasting, allowing us to be proactive and not reactive in the, for example, event of an extreme weather. Third, operational optimization. A grid needs to be balanced at any time, and this can be enabled faster with AI. And fourth, end-user automation, turning consumers into active, flexible grid participants. So for example, we heard about V2G or V2G2G, so the ability for consumer to actually provide ancillary services for the grid can be powered in real time by AI systems. Next slide, please. So let's look at what it means in the world, and here you have examples of not only pilots, but AI solutions delivered at scale. In the UK, Octopus Energy built a virtual power plant of over 270,000 EVs. Its AI platform, which was recently spin-off, Kraken, intelligently shifts their charging to off-peak hours, creating a 2 gigawatt flexible resource to support the grid. In Australia, United Energy use automated restoration system to cut fault repair by 30 minutes. 30 minutes in a household without power can be everything. In Italy, Enel use predictive maintenance with AI to analyze the sensors, the sensor data to identify MTBF, the equipment failures before they happen, preventing major outage. And in Denmark, EnergyNet, the data hub, has created a standardized digital marketplace enabling communication between stakeholders and fostering competition and collaboration among different parties. But to conclude, we need to address the elephant in the room. AI owns significant and growing energy footprints. If we're not careful, the tool we use to solve the climate crisis could actually contribute to it. So we believe, and this is from our analysis, this is a manageable challenge. It's about designing and planning. First, we need to power data centers by clean energy. Operators are already leading there, signing massive renewable PPAs. Second, we must integrate this new demand into a proper planning framework. We see that evidence in Portugal, that created regulation for electro-intensive areas, or in Colombia, close to Brazil, where planners are using dashboards to project and manage data center demand as a core part of the national energy balance. The message is clear. Without proper planning and renewable integration, AI energy demand can manage, AI energy demand can be managed effectively without compromising our goals. The last part, and I will hand over there, is about governance and explainability. For the last slide, please. Yes, yeah, next one. Yes, the one after. Yes, so I think I will stop here, but this is an important aspect that everyone here in the masterclass, I think, hope will go. 3 pillars are essential. First, transparency mechanism. We need explainable AI to keep human in the loop and also accountable for decision. Do not let your AI decide for yourself. You're in control. First, second, we need the institutional mandates. We must have clear rules about who can develop, deploy, and supervise AI systems in critical sectors like infrastructure and energy. Third, cybersecurity. This is non-negotiable. The Alliance of Utilities of Africa showed that 85% of African utility has experienced cyber attacks. If we underestimate in protection, we'll see some vulnerable, targets. So securing must be a top priority. I will stop here for today, but you've seen it's a rich and diverse landscape. We contribute as Arena in building capacity and are also very fortunate to collaborate with the PCCB and the UN Climate Change. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Please join us now also in the fireside chat. So also I'd like to invite Ariesta Ningrum, the director of the CTCN. Please find a seat. And we're also very happy to have our guest from COICA online. Mik-Yong Lee, are we connected?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. So without any further ado, let's just get started. Thank you so much for this fascinating masterclass. Maybe let me start out with the AI has the potential to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 5 to 10% until 2030. So, but now concretely from your talk, what are some of the takeaways, the key takeaways, Ariesta, you have taken from this talk? Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much and good afternoon. My name is Ariesta and I'm with the United Nations or UN Climate Technology Center and Network, and those who do not know what CTCN is, we are the operational arm of the technology mechanism established a while ago by parties. The Technology Executive Committee who organized this is our sister institutions, the policy body of the technology mechanism. Just, I want to stay on from the start that I'm not an AI expert. However, the CTCN helps developing country to deploy, identify, and assess the AI technologies for mitigation and adaptation. So a lot of my response will actually based on that, our experience on that. So the key takeaway is that you mentioned earlier, Simon, that reliable data is really foundations. And this is something that we see missing a lot in the developing countries, either like the infrastructures of the data to collect, to store, as well as to accessibility of the data itself. I also saw most of the examples are in Global North. We will look forward that AI can also be deployed for energy system in developing countries. And also that obviously that AI will improve the predictive analytics that can make the infrastructures is actually more resilient. So those are the things that we have some example that the CTCN has helped countries with. In Timor-Leste, for example, we help the government use GIS, and data analytics to map solar resources and design a national grid code. So again, this is like addressing the fundamental missing data. In Burkina Faso, we support the rollout of pay-as-you-use solar platform using data-driven system again to improve access, affordability, and efficiency for rural agro-industries. And currently in Mali, we will soon support energy service company to digitalize their energy audit procedures to identify opportunities for improved energy management. So from this example, we can see that in developing countries, the challenge is not only about technology, but also empowering the local capacity and strengthening the digital foundation, in particular like the data. So I'll stop there.
Thank you so much. So you emphasized the institutional capacity and in developing countries. And thank you so much for pointing out the need to take this to implementation in the Global South. Now let me please come to Mek-Yong Lee. If you could please share with us, what are the key takeaways from the Masterclass and your excellent work at COICA? Maybe you can also share with us some best practices or lessons learned. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Mek-Yong Lee, I'm here representing COICA, but I'm here in Amman, Jordan, as energy and AI expert for COICA projects. Okay, so on behalf of COICA, for your question, I'd like to mention 2 points, capacity building and the reality. So I'd like to focus on action rather than just wording, and I'd like to focus on the how. First, in terms of capacity building and the data, I'd like to say we have moved beyond getting stuck in the pilot stage, because we haven't seen many demo projects fail in the field. For example, a solar forecasting model fails when it cannot get real-time weather data on a 6-hour-old manual report. Even if it could, the 20-year-old analog grid system has no way to use the real-time AI calculation. And after the 18-month pilot ends, no local staff is trained to maintain the model, and no budget is left to pay for the cloud server. Nowadays, cloud server costs for developing country is one of the biggest issues. This is not scalable. So our focus, mostly the COICA's focus, is aligned on building the digital foundation where AI can actually work, the digital public infrastructure. So this is not just about donating server. It means supporting the data governance and the standardization that ensure access to clean, granular load data weather data and grid topology data, and this is a key to building the digital highways for the new AI economy. And secondly, one more thing for your question, and the capacity, true capacity building must be upgraded from users to local AI developers. So traditional capacity building has focused on policymakers and engineers, but I want to emphasize local AI sovereignty. So we see a growing pool of talented computer science majors in developing countries. So international support must provide advanced AI training. An AI model trained on California's grid data is likely to fail in Nairobi, Kenya. The consumption pattern, the grid instability, the climate factors are completely different. So we must empower local talent to move beyond just using Western solutions and instead locally optimize and even develop their own energy AI algorithms tailored to their unique grid data and environment. So just one last thing. This means moving beyond the 2-week or 1-month workshops. Imagine instead funding a 1-year AI fellowship that embeds a local data scientist directly into the national grid control centers. So their job is not to use our software, it is to build their own model using their own data to predict transformer failures. So this is how you build both the solution and this is how we build both the solution and the expert at the same time. So this is the true meaning of tech co-creation that COICA believe and our society believe. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Mekyong, and you emphasized a lot the local AI adoption and
Yes.
the need to transfer the technology, and also a lot of our partner countries, because we've been working a lot through the EU, supporting countries throughout the world, especially in Africa, and developing their own AI national strategies. So,
Yes.
and this is really critical, as you pointed out, to first that each country by themselves can define how they would like to use AI. And the topic you also brought up, I think it was data governance and even data sovereignty. Because the cloud, cloud computing you also mentioned, it's very important. Like a lot of the AUC, for instance, has also developed a regional strategy on AI. And in their strategy, it very clearly emphasizes the need to support our partner countries to also be able to store and host, to have the right about their own data for the use of AI. So thank you very much and the COICA is doing a lot of work on capacity building in this area. So Simon, let me move to you now. I was really fascinated in your presentation. You laid out actually an integrated approach towards from data over AI and digital platforms. Could you maybe elaborate on that? What do you think about that, that it's basically AI is not the panacea, it's just one part of the puzzle. Please, if you could.
Yes, of course. I mean, in the framework of energy systems, so how you developed your networks or your off-grid systems, it's a bit complex to say AI can today replace all the solutions, because there is one technique important to model power networks. You have to build a capacity expansion model. And this cannot really today, maybe tomorrow, but done strictly with AI. And the topic was about the quality of the data that will be the inputs of those sophisticated models that are basically modeling the way the systems will work. So I think the impact of AI application overall or over time will be transformative. The first one, it will accelerate work. It takes between 2 and 3 years to update a model and to devise an energy transition plan for a country. If you're able to shorten it to 6 months, you can capture economies of scales, reduction in costs, and so on. So the data you're using from 3 years ago is not anymore relevant. So first, shortening the time on how you develop the plan. Second, creating, and it was mentioned also by everyone, creating accessible, transparent tools. There is commercial solution that cost a lot of money. countries cannot afford them. That's important. Commercial solutions are there, but you need to pay 100,000 euro. A government cannot invest on an annual fee of 100,000 euro for that. So accessible, transparent tool based on systems that are industry validated. I mentioned also filling the critical gaps in data. Certain data can be extrapolated, creating synthetic profiles like weather profile and so on, but you will never replace the whole real data. To cite a solar project, you need between 6 months and 1 year of actual collected data to build that. So AI will not replace, but AI can help with quality assurance, or for example, doing the validation of the data collected. And ultimately, this is to build, and Ariesta mentioned it, as an expert in AI that you are, the greater resilience in our energy systems. And very importantly, we need to work on governance imperative. This is fundamentally, because each time you talk about AI, the role also of intergovernmental is to insist on transparency, ethical frameworks, and investing heavily in capacity building, also that a country can apply AI in a responsible manner, and you mentioned it before, to ensure robust privacy protections.
Well, thank you so much. This is really a very holistic view of AI. So it's not just about infrastructure. It's, as you said, governance, skills. So, but maybe let me move to you again, Ariesta. So many of us have been talking about the 4C model, like connectivity, content, capacity, and continuity. But out of in which areas do you think now your developing countries would need the most support in terms of capacity building or strengthening, that they actually can use AI?
Yes, I come back to what Princess has mentioned earlier in her intervention. This is technology, capacity building, and also finance. And I think all of these elements are equally important. And this is what the CTCN is doing, is actually through providing support and integrated support that contains the 3 elements of what we call means of implementation. So we start with let me give example of the Timor-Leste, because this is something that's where the data is actually not available. So they're very interested to embark on solar energy generations in Timor-Leste. They requested the technical assistance from the CTCN. And the CTCN supported the government first to better understand and plan for the potential of this solar energy. And the technical assistance itself is also analyze the solar resource data across the country, also provided the different capacity factors for different solar configuration, and as well as train officials on how to use the informations and help the government to develop a net metering policy. So coming back to the comprehensive support, comprehensive approach to AI, but also we come also try with a comprehensive support, including preparing a concept note for full implementations, full-scale solar initiative for funding by Green Climate Fund. So this is something that we actually doing, and then we will continue be doing and helping to integrate both the element of policy, finance, capacity building, as well as technology. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. So it's about sustainability, also have continuous finance. So not just putting the infrastructure in place, but then to keep it up, and because it's a long-term process. Maybe very shortly, Mek-Yong, I can come to you to the last round. So what concretely you can do on local capacity building? Can you strengthen what you're doing at KOICA?
Yes, we'd like to, we'd like to express the integrated energy system, fully utilizing AI So what we'd like to express is this. We must move from managing in isolation to an AI-driven integrated energy system. So AI's true power is not just optimizing one asset. In reality, especially in developing countries, we are organized in solar department, ESS department, and EV department, but the electrons don't care about our organizational chart. So the strategy we must now concretize is using AI to train professionals to manage an integrated energy system, connecting solar, ESS, EV charging, and green hydrogen as one holistic grid. So prime example is new AI data center, just like Royal Highness mentioned. So this is a challenge and an opportunity. So we should use AI to optimize their efficiency, but also integrate their massive UPS systems and flexible load as virtual energy storage system. So this is not theory. Aggregating data centers and EV charging stations can create a gigawatt scale or megawatt scale virtual power plant, stabilizing the entire grid and boosting renewable adoption. So this is the double win, we believe. Okay, that's it.
Well, thank you so much. So thank you for all this. This is, I think, just the first conversations of many we'll have. And thanks again for the great support of the CTCN and Tech. One last thing?
Yes,
but you have
1 minute.
1 minute.
It's just that we are in Belém, COP30. With the COP30 presidency, we've been working on the action agenda and the role of AI in energy planning. Axis 1, energy industry transports. The long-term energy scenario network will launch a plan to accelerate solution. And for that, we need partners to really develop global guidance on governance, data privacy, transparency. There is already institutions like EPRI inventorying more than 200 use cases of AI energy, but it's a call for actions if partners would like to join these plans that was developed for the COP30 here in Belém.
Oh, thank you so much. We also very much like to thank the COP presidency, who actually has put AI the first time in the title of a day, no? It's called Digital Public Infrastructure and AI Day, which was the 11th of November. Well, thank you so much. And now I would... I would like to invite Ditram, please, the chair of the Tech, to give us some closing remarks. Thank you.
Distinguished Excellencies, distinguished colleagues, let me start my sincere thanks first to Simon Ben-Maras from IRENA, who provided us an inspiring masterclass and sharing with us from his rich experience from, I think, as I got it rightly, nearly 10 years in IRENA on the game-changing power of AI for energy systems. My thanks also go to Myung Lee from COICA, who also brought us direct insights from adapting AI solutions to the local needs. And also I would like to thank very much from COICA for their long-standing support for the UNFCCC technology work on AI and climate action, with which this masterclass is a part of. On behalf of the Tech and the CTCN, I also would like to acknowledge our very good cooperation with the PCCP. Thank you very much, Your Highness. We thank you so much for hosting us in this year's Capacity Hub event. And we are very keen to continue and deepen our collaboration from the Tech with you. Technology, capacity building, and finance are international cooperation are not separate pillars. They go hand in hand, and they have to work together for meaningful climate action. The use of AI for climate action in developing countries must go hand in hand with skills, institutions, and knowledge sharing, so that solutions are not only smart, but fair and accessible. The IPCC has highlighted digital solution as a key driver of energy system transformation. And as we heard today, it's a game changer. It can bring us solutions much faster and maybe also in developing countries more affordable. These solutions has to be equitable. They have to be brought to developing countries, to SIDS and LDCs. We need to bring this technology and finance and capacity building together. If we get this right, AI can help us cut emissions and strengthen resilience and open new opportunities for inclusive, sustainable growth for the energy sector. I would like to briefly highlight two of our publications that show that we can bring this together in practice. The first is a guidebook for technology needs assessments in the energy sector, prepared with UNIDO and UNEP Copenhagen Climate Center. I would like also thank them for their support. It shows how digital tools, from remote monitoring to predictive maintenance to digital twins, can support better energy planning and more efficient, cleaner power systems in developing countries. The second is a technical paper on AI for climate action developed together and with the support from UNIDO and Japan's Ministry of Economic Trade and Industry, METI. It includes concrete examples of AI for energy management, improving grid reliability and efficiency, building green skills, and driving innovation in a just and resilient energy transition. I invite you to scan the codes and explore the publications and reach out to the tech and the CDCN to exchange your ideas and explore collaboration. As countries update their national climate plans, and they're still in progress, and implement solutions of the first global stack tech, AI can help bridge the gap between ambition and real-world action in energy systems. With the technology mechanism, we remain committed to sharing knowledge, connecting partners, and supporting those who need it most, the use of AI in equitable climate action. Thank you all for your engagement today. Let us continue this collaboration as we explore both the opportunities and the risks of AI and urgent mitigation and adaptation action. Thank you so much. Many thanks for our excellent moderator, Thorin.
Thank you all. So this was really a very interactive session. I hope I've learned a lot myself, so I hope you can say the same. And just at the end, I wanted to say that we are, as the European Commission, we are committed to supporting, as part of our Global Gateway program, the digital transformation and climate action, and to be a strong partner of the CTCN and tech, which we are also supporting as the Commission. So we are just getting started, I think, with this agenda. And it's critical to have. Now I would like to invite all of you to please join us in a group picture. We want to take a nice picture, and then, because this is about community. It's, as I said at the beginning, this is more about you than us. So please join us all, and we take a group picture. Please, come on. Thank you very much.